Hey, shalom everybody. This is Brandon Israel, and right now I'm in the area of where our land is, and I just wanted to show you all what we've been working on. You know, the Most High's put it on my spirit to start working on certain things, and I just wanted to share it with everybody and let everybody know that it's a really good idea if some of you live in the land and with the ordinances and the laws, if you could do something like this. Even better if you can partner up with people and everybody can team up, give ideas and chime in on what needs to be done. I think it could be done very well, and all I did was plant the seed. Some people came and watered it, but the Most High gave the increase. So all praises to the Most High. So I just want to turn my camera around, show you guys some things. Let's see here. So okay. So we put this fencing in not too long ago. Made out of bamboo. It's nice and sturdy. So check this out. So we invested in some chickens. So we started off small. We started off with 32 females and 37 males. And we bought them at 5 weeks old. Just to start, 37 birds, just to make sure they're healthy and, we're not getting ripped off or anything, but they're nice and strong. We did have to buy them some preventative medication, some vitamin C type medication and some dewormer, so here they are. It's 32 females and 5 males. I think this one might be trying to get out, I don't know. So yeah, so they're growing pretty well, Every time I come out here, a couple days later, they get bigger and bigger. We're feeding them well. They got an actual certain feed that we're giving them. So, if I could get this open. So here go the other batch. It's still a little difficult to tell the males and the females apart. So as they get a little older, then it'll become more obvious. So this is relatively new. We did this. We had the chicken coop built from scratch. I think it turned out pretty nice. Put some metal roofing sheets on it. So I think we did pretty good. We ran some electricity there, to get that going. But the original project, look, we got some chickens sneaking in here looking for food. So this is the original project here. And we built this structure not too long ago. And surprisingly, it did not cost a lot of money at all. This is for the sheep and the goats. See the metal roof here, the bamboo, the sturdy bamboo. So let's check on them and see how they are. I gotta close the door or they'll be running around and I have to catch them. So let's check them out here. So as of right now, we have 7 goats. 6 of them are female, 1 male. And out of all the females, 5 of them are pregnant, 1 is not pregnant. So the goal was to buy them all pregnant, but once the veterinary officer came and examined them all, he said that this little one here is not pregnant. So then we eventually bought the male right here so he can go ahead and cross her, and Yah willing, she'll be pregnant soon, if she's not already pregnant now. So this one here is the first goat I bought here, and she's very bossy. She doesn't like to see any of the other ones eating around her. So, and they're kind of scared of her too. And then the male, naturally, he's a leader, because he's stronger than everybody else and more aggressive. So he's like the number 1 leader, and she's the number 2. And as you can see her belly here, she's very pregnant, and she'll be giving birth soon. She's running away from me. So out of all the goats, she'll be the one to give birth first. Y'all willing. And then I think this light color one here will probably be the second one to give birth, or this one. And then these other ones, they're pretty early in their pregnancy. These two here, they're pretty early in their pregnancy, so it'll be a few months for them. And then the first set of animals I bought are the sheeps. So we see here, we got baby boy over here. She just gave birth to him a couple weeks ago. And then, so it's 2 females. And then we got our male here. And when I bought him, the woman said that he was a personal pet. And she said his name was Joshua. And she didn't want to sell him, but unfortunately she needed the money. So I ended up buying him because he's a pretty nice size. I bought him some months ago. And he's grown nice, big, and strong. And so far everything has been going pretty well with the sheeps. So let's see here. I ended up moving them here just a couple months ago. Close this door here. Get a close-up of baby boy here. So yeah, that's baby boy. We was hoping for a girl, but you know, you never know. It's either going to be a girl or a boy when they give birth. So yeah, this is her first pregnancy. She's the oldest sheep out of the bunch. She's 2 years old, and this is her first pregnancy. And then you got these 2 sheeps. When I bought them, they were both 7 months old. So they're a good 10, 11 months old by now. Maybe a little older. So yeah, so this is a nice little structure we built for them. Originally, it was only this big from this wall here. And then, you know, once we teamed up and we was able to pull some funds together, we ended up extending out the structure and buying more animals, you know. So the goal here is to be able to put together a community, and you know, we can be sufficient. We can grow our food, have our livestock, have our chickens for eggs and for meat, you know. So invest now. So I want to show you their outside area really quick. Let me just go ahead and turn this camera around. So the goal here is to let this plantain grow up a little bit taller, and then we'll start having them come outside more. This is their cassava, some of the things that they eat, the cassava peels here. But the goal is to let them come out here, you know, roam around freely. You know, we're going to get all this cleaned up, and plant some things for them to be eating out here. And then the goal is to let them be able to have their free time outside. They can roam around and play, do whatever goats and sheep do. You know, so they have all this area here where they can be running around and playing, you know, snacking on things, eating. Then also, we can always, almost tripped, we can always open up this door, and then they can come out here as well and roam around freely, you know, after it's all cleaned up. And then, you know, same thing with the chickens. You know, we can release them, let them roam around freely, you know, once the livestock are away, and then they can be roaming around freely, you know. So it's like all we had to do was start, and then different ideas started to come to us. And that's my guy Victor that's been working for us. Yeah. So that's what we've been doing as far as the livestock. So yes, thank you for joining me earlier to take a tour of the livestock and the fowls. And so pretty much We've been in Ghana now since last year in June, and this is something that I felt in my spirit, ever since before even coming here. Several weeks before coming here, I felt it in my spirit to get here and purchase animals and things like that. It didn't happen, the way I may have wanted it to happen, or it didn't happen as quickly as I wanted it to happen. But at least it's finally starting to come together. And a few reasons why I want to do it is because, number one, if you're going to come to Ghana, where a lot of the laws and ordinances are going to be a lot less strict when it comes to these things, then you might as well do it. It's not difficult. Being a shepherd, it's not extremely difficult. Is it a learning curve? Yeah, it's a bit of a learning curve. Because coming from the States, this is something that's completely new to most of us, if not all of our people, you know. And so if we're gonna be here, then we might as well go all the way, especially with the rising costs in food. Like meat is relatively expensive here, and then we're in the Volta region as well, so certain meats are harder to come by than others. When it comes to like all of the unclean meats, oh, you can find those all day long. Like your pork and things like that. Your pork, your unclean fish, that's very available here. But as far as like your clean meats, according to the book of Leviticus, your beef, your goat, your sheep, it's a little bit more difficult to find here in this specific part of Volta, So with the times to come, according to the scriptures, it says that they shall overtake people out of their houses, So that's coming. And then they're defiling the foods. The price of foods is raising quickly and sharply. Every time I turn around, I go to the store, the price of something is going up. It seems like every week, like the price of eggs are like, 75 CDs. A bag of French fries, it used to be like 80 something CDs when we first got here to Volta. Now it's like 117 CDs. And I know like it may not seem like a lot of money to you now, but once you move here and your money is in CDs, you look at your money as in CDs, it's a lot. Prices are going up, but people's income is not going up. And that's the issue. That's the biggest issue. If the cost of living is going to go up, but everyone's income is going up, then it's no big deal. But when prices keep going up and nobody's money is going up, then that's a serious problem. And then also, we know that according to the scriptures that famine is coming. So, ultimately, you keep your faith in the Most High. You keep your faith in the Messiah. Ultimately, yes. It's just that He also gave us, instructions on how to live, and He gave us warnings of the things to come. So we need to take heed to the warnings and be like watchmen. So I really feel it in my spirit that, and I didn't always feel like this. This is relatively new, but I felt it in my spirit now. I feel it in my spirit now that I come here to be like a trailblazer and to help pave the way for others that may be thinking of coming and moving to Ghana. I remember in the beginning, I'm trying to convince friends and family to come here, and nobody's listening. A couple people are like interested and like talking about it or hearing about it, but they're not interested at all. So I remember I had a family member, my sister tell me, oh, you're like a trailblazer. And at that time, when my sister told me that, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I guess, but I can't convince anybody to come here. So I realized, like, it's not about necessarily convincing people to come here. If you feel it in your spirit, that I need to get up and move out of this place, and maybe that's a sign that you need to move. Pray to the Most High, of course, before you do anything. And also, the scriptures say to flee out of the midst of Babylon, so you won't partake of her plagues. So Babylon is America. Modern day Babylon is America. So the scriptures say to flee, flee as in run for your lives, so that you won't partake of these plagues, So yeah, so unfortunately, the plagues are coming to America. The war is coming to America, and honestly, things will come here as well, So I'm not saying that God is our Savior. I would never say anything like that. I'm not saying like, oh, we're safe because we're in Ghana. No, it's just that according to the scriptures, we know certain things is destined for America. Like it's already written in stone. Judgment is coming to America. It's some judgment coming here as well. So the best thing to do, ultimately the best thing to do is straighten out your walk with the Most High. That's the number one thing to do. Be praying always. Keep your faith. Keep your faith in the Most High. Because without faith, it's impossible to please Him. And and I'm just speaking. I know I'm just speaking plainly with the scriptures and quoting, because I'm not really using this as a teaching moment per se. I just want to talk plainly, like a conversation. So keep your faith, and then after that, look to your brethren and your sisters and form a community of people, form a community of like-minded people. Even if there are some, as far as people like in this walk, even if you have like, some certain doctrine issues, according to Isaiah 1 and 18, you can read that yourselves, but let us reason with one another. You know, um, I could be right, you could be wrong, you could be right, I could be wrong. We can both come together and find out we're both wrong, or we both could be right. We just need to put our heads together and figure out some of these things together. You know, so coming here to Volta, you know, several of us have been praying for, a gathering of people, and the Most High has heard our prayers, and now we speak, several times throughout the week, and we decided to come together and, pitch in towards livestock, and make our way towards living closer and closer to each other. So that way, if there's a time, or when it's the time to up and leave, up and go, we're not too far from each other, and we're constantly in contact with each other and things like that. So that's very important, and also, read the book of Zephaniah, read it in full. But just really quick, read Zephaniah 2 and 1. Gather yourselves together. Gather yourselves together. O Israel, nation not desired. Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you. So he's letting us know right there. We need to gather ourselves together. Coming here, as a diaspora and wanting to do things, all on your own. I just don't think it's really going to prosper as much as if you come together. And I know that it's extremely difficult to come together when it comes to business. Like, I know it's extremely difficult to come together on that level. So you have to always be praying about that, but come together, try to live closer to one another. If you have an interest in doing farming, farm together, get livestock together, because if you're only thinking about yourself and your household, what's going to happen when you run out of money, you run out of food, or someone gets sick, or a calamity happens? None of us are, above an emergency happening to us. We can't figure it all out, so come together, reason with one another. Stop, arguing and debating over the small things in life. Come together, look at the big picture, put the Most High first, and pray about it. If you're looking to come here, reach out to us and we'll help you. Shalom.